Do nude scenes automatically propel you to higher levels of stardom? The answer is complicated, and Alexandra Daddario knows the answer better than most. Though she had some minor appearances in a few movies and TV shows in the early 2000s, Alexandra Daddario's big break came when she was cast in the 2010 film adaptation of Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief.
Her name?
Annabeth, daughter of Athena, the goddess of wisdom.
Sadly, the film and its 2013 sequel, Percy Jackson: Sea of Monsters, were criticized for being too similar to the Harry Potter films, while not being quite as interesting. Besides sharing a director in Chris Columbus, they also feature a trio of teenagers, 2 boys and 1 girl, encountering magic and alternate worlds.
No way.
Yes way.
In an interview with InStyle in 2023, Daddario revealed that despite landing a huge blockbuster franchise, she wasn't ready to rest on her laurels. She said, "I'm very, very proud of what I've accomplished, and I'm grateful, but it's a ladder." It wasn't long until Daddario's resume diverged from the teen fantasy where she started out, appearing in horror films like Malevolence 2, Bereavement, and Texas Chainsaw. She even made a guest appearance on FX's It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which was a role she drove 4 hours overnight from Las Vegas to Los Angeles to audition for, since she's a self-proclaimed huge fan of the show. In 2013, Daddario was announced as a cast member on HBO's new anthology series True Detective. The season's cast included veterans like Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson, and Michelle Monaghan. Although Daddario had shared the screen with numerous A-list stars in the past, she felt some pressure when she joined the HBO series. She told Esquire, "I always have a bit of trepidation before I start anything just because I want to do well. You want to do a great job and you want to impress people." However, she also kept her expectations in check. During the filming of this inaugural season, Daddario wasn't sure if the show was even going to be well received, let alone go down in TV history as one of the best seasons of any show ever. So she just treated the role the same as any other job. She didn't become close with any of the cast either, being that she wasn't on set much due to her limited role. Thankfully, this didn't harm her overall experience. As she explained to Esquire, having dinner with somebody you've looked up to your whole life is quite a memorable thing. While Daddario's True Detective character plays an integral role in the downfall of Woody Harrelson's character, many fans of the show remember her performance for a much less sophisticated reason. In episode 2, Harrelson's Marty Hart visits Lisa's house and the two have sex, shattering the audience's view of Hart as a family man with strict morals. In this scene, Daddario bears it all as she seductively undresses herself for a handcuffed Hart.
I thought I was gonna put these on you.
You want this?
What?
Yeah?
Despite the scene's explicit nature, Daddario still felt it was justified within the context of the story, and was mostly just happy to be playing a role that was so different from anything else she had done. She also credited scene partner Woody Harrelson with making her feel comfortable, which she had other times described as nerve-wracking. Unsurprisingly, the scene generated a lot of attention on the internet, which Daddario found flattering despite being something she actively tries to ignore. Although she has no regrets about the scene, Daddario confessed to Men's Journal, "I think that I hadn't been that aware of my sex appeal prior to that. It can be negative, some of the attention, and so I try to ignore some of the more negative aspects of it." Despite the critical success of True Detective, the show's first season was criticized for its portrayal of women. Particularly, one article for The New Yorker cited Alexandra Daddario's character as an example of the show's gratuitous nudity, and accused the showrunners of featuring underwritten female characters who reveal more of their physical bodies than of their personalities. In an interview with the Daily Beast, Daddario rejected these claims of True Detective being misogynistic, saying, "I feel like the story was about these two flawed men, and the women, especially my character and Lily Simmons' character, were there to propel their storylines forward." She further explained that she and the other women on the show also experienced a surge of interest from Hollywood after their appearances, which gave them more power in showbiz rather than less. Daddario talked about this effect in an interview with Collider, recalling a phone call with her manager the day after her episode dropped. She said, "I was sitting on my boyfriend's couch and she calls me in the morning after the episode aired and she was like, 'The phone won't stop ringing.' And all of a sudden, everyone in town wanted to meet with me." She continued to particularly credit her work on True Detective for creating a massive upswing in the opportunities she was offered in Hollywood, and found herself auditioning for more adult-centric films. In fact, weeks after her risque appearance on True Detective, she was cast as one of the leads in the 2015 action movie San Andreas, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
We're not high enough. Get down!
While she felt distant from the True Detective Season 1 cast, she spoke highly of working with The Rock, and The Rock felt the same about her. The two of them worked together again not long after their first collaboration. This second outing together occurred in 2017 with Baywatch, a film adaptation of the iconic television series. In the film, Daddario portrays Summer Quinn, the role originally held by Nicole Eggert in the TV show. True to the nature of a project like Baywatch, this role wouldn't exactly stray from Daddario's previous experience of getting a lot of attention for her body, albeit for different reasons. While the R-rated film didn't feature any nudity from the actress, she still had to put in a lot of work to maintain a more athletic physique for the film. Speaking to Women's Health about her preparation for Baywatch, Daddario said, "I started doing weight training, which I had never done before, and I saw a huge difference. It was kind of amazing the transformation I went through." While Baywatch seemed to come naturally after the success Daddario achieved with True Detective, the film itself was a critical failure and a commercial disappointment. Unsurprisingly, Baywatch garnered accusations of sexism and objectification similar to those directed at True Detective, with Rolling Stone writing in their 2-star review that the film's female actors are, quote, left trying to fight their way out of various babe stereotypes.
Do you just look at my boobs?
I was not my intention. I didn't stare directly at them.
You're looking at them right now.
This wasn't the only subsequent project that required her to flaunt her body. Also in 2017, Daddario co-starred with Kate Upton in The Layover, in which they play roommates vying for the attention of an attractive seatmate after their vacation flight is rerouted due to a hurricane. At the time, Daddario spoke highly of the film's female-centric story, and also felt like she was getting used to being considered sexy. She told Collider, "It wasn't something that I tried to do, so I embrace it, to a certain extent." Years later, Daddario reflected on this era in her career and wondered if her choice of projects had maybe led her astray. By the time the COVID-19 pandemic hit, Daddario started to feel like her career had hit a wall and found herself dissatisfied with the projects she was offered, which included several direct-to-video on-demand releases such as Can You Keep a Secret and We Summon the Darkness in 2019. All told, it wasn't until 2020 that she captured the attention of film critics once again. Lost Girls and Love Hotels features Daddario in a starring role as Margaret, an American teacher living in Tokyo who enters into a romance with a member of the Yakuza. The role features Daddario acting nude for the first time since her infamous True Detective scene. The movie itself received mixed reviews, with some criticizing its meaningless story and others praising its dark tone. However, some reviewers praised Daddario's performance, with Filmhounds writing, "She quite possibly delivers her best performance to date. It's solely because of her that the movie just about succeeds." Other reviews praised Daddario's compelling and thoughtful contributions to the character of Margaret, even when they had few good things to say about the rest of the film. Although Lost Girls and Love Hotels was still taking advantage of Daddario's looks and willingness to bear it all for the plot, it signaled the beginning of a change she hadn't experienced since True Detective, where this time around the attention was more on her acting than her anatomy. While Daddario felt like her career was stagnating post-Baywatch, the entire entertainment industry went on pause when the COVID-19 pandemic shut down productions across the globe. Like many other celebrities, Daddario took this opportunity to reach out to her audience and began posting vlogs on YouTube featuring herself, her roommates, and their various quarantine activities. Although there was still media attention surrounding Daddario's body based on some of these videos, Daddario certainly seemed in on the joke, with several instances of her openly mocking people's obsession with her looks. In one video going through her wardrobe, Daddario jokingly referenced her True Detective past.
I see what you're Googling.
Surprisingly, Daddario remains active with her vlogging, albeit not as active as she was during the height of lockdown. Her most recent video was uploaded in September 2023. After many years of trying to recapture the success she found on True Detective in the film world, Daddario found herself joining another anthology series on HBO in 2021 with The White Lotus, which centers on the various employees and guests of a fictional resort and their intertwining narratives. In the Season 1 ensemble, Daddario plays Rachel, a newlywed on her honeymoon who starts to second-guess whether marrying Jake Lacey's character, an unfathomable jerk, was a good idea.
Maybe I should call my mother?
Do you want to call your mother? What do you think she'll say?
I think she's gonna say we're in the wrong room.
The first season premiered to critical acclaim and garnered a whole bunch of Emmy nominations, with Daddario netting one for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Limited Series or Anthology, which she lost to co-star Jennifer Coolidge. As a whole, fans responded positively to Daddario's performance as Rachel, who we can safely say is more nuanced and relatable than her character in True Detective. As Daddario told The Hollywood Reporter, the role came at a point in her career where she felt like she was lacking direction, and drew upon that in her performance, saying, "Like my character, there have definitely been times I felt misunderstood or not breaking through, and I feel like I took it all somewhat in stride." With critical approval and an Emmy nomination behind her, Daddario's future was entirely up to her now. Although Alexandra Daddario has spoken positively about her experience acting in the nude on True Detective, in the past few years, there's been a reckoning of how scenes like that are handled in Hollywood. After the discourse that surrounded her and fellow co-stars' nude scenes on the HBO show, it makes sense that Daddario would be in support of an entertainment industry that treated women with more respect. She suggested as much when it comes to intimacy coordinators, who were officially recognized in the renegotiated contracts of SAG-AFTRA following the 2023 strikes. Intimacy coordinators are defined as individuals on set who choreograph and monitor nude or sex scenes to make sure actors are comfortable and safe. As Daddario admitted to InStyle, she's all for the changes, saying, "I think it was such a long time coming that these things had to happen. And even if some people feel like it's sort of an overcorrection, I think it's much better than not doing anything about it." The past few years have seen Alexandra Daddario transform from an oft-forgotten actress who once undressed for HBO to one of the most promising and talented television stars in the current media landscape. While her success will always be partially owed to the attention she got from True Detective, it's clear that Daddario is much prouder to be recognized for her hard work and commitment to projects, and not simply how she looks with no clothes on. This is all on display in Daddario's most recent television venture, starring in AMC's adaptation of Anne Rice's Mayfair Witches. Playing the role of Dr. Rowan Fielding, a woman who discovers her connection to a dynasty of witches, was one of the biggest challenges Daddario has ever faced. She told the AV Club, "I had never been the lead of my own TV show, which felt cool. I'm looking for anything instinctually right at the moment, and this did it for me." Considering her experience adapting books to screen with the Percy Jackson films, her innate ability to capture the audience's attention in True Detective, and her skills at connecting with audiences thanks to The White Lotus, Mayfair Witches seems like the perfect amalgamation of all she's worked towards. The question now is, why did it have to take so long?